Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Alexia podcast number 17. And kind of like maybe after a rich meal, you would have a digestif just to settle things down. After the excitement of our old Jeremy Corbyn special, it's just me and Talal today. And we're going to talk about my night with Jeremy and and then maybe do some podcasts and catch up on business. I think we've over the year or so that we've been doing this, I've promised people various things and probably never delivered. I'm not sure really. So Talal, anyway, how was it for you?
Oh, Jeremy, it was quite a magical day. Yeah, exhilarating, and yeah, upon a reflection, you do have moments of like, oh man, why didn't I ask him this? Or there are so many people who are wondering this one thing, and they would kill for the opportunity to ask him this question because all our hopes were lying on this man, and it's. Why didn't I ask him, hey, Jeremy, why didn't you just play the game? We know you're an upstanding, man with principle, and you didn't want to lower yourself to their level, but why didn't you just play the game? You knew how important it was for everyone.
Yeah, but then he couldn't do that, could he? Because that's who he is. It is extraordinary that this, several things. This sort of gentle, ridiculously, gentle sort of man could be painted as this demon, I think. And, a man who, you go around his constituency and everybody, or if you go around with him or you go around a lot of people, everybody's got stories of his kindness. And I think it also speaks to what a lie our media is. And, that man could be painted as a demon is so extraordinarily wrong, I think, and that's also, one of the one of the things I've kind of circled around. I think I've talked on this podcast a few times. Is one of the things I struggle to understand is why, why so many people got so angry with him, really, and that as we talked about with Carrie and with him, is that he, I think, made people realize, I think probably as Jesus did. That he made people look into their own souls and realize that there was nothing there, and that makes them crazy.
Yeah, and also how frightfully skillfully the media twisted his image.
Yeah. Well, they're highly motivated, aren't they? There's a deep psychological need to. Because he threatened them in so many ways that it was a dire psychological need that he had, that they had to undercut him in any way. Yes, I was in a kind of daze for the next day as well, really. I remember the Friday, we did that on the Thursday, and the Friday was also, I was kind of feeling kind of dizzy. I suppose also we were, you saying just before, it's got like, we've had 30, 40,000 listens, which is, pretty good. We did vaguely have a hope that he would say something like, I fucking hate Keir Starmer.
Yeah, but
I'm going to fucking challenge him to a fight on College Green.
But he sat next to you.
A fight for the Labour. Well, yeah, but
there was no point. But what I mean is, like, if you're next to a tsunami, there's no point taking a piss on the beach. It's like you're already doing it.
But we had this fantasy that he would say something like, really, I'm fucking start my own party, you bastards. And then it would get picked up by the mainstream media, and then it would go. It would go viral, and
ironically, we wanted to make headlines.
We did. We had a dream, and that didn't happen really. But on the other hand, it provided. It keeps growing every day, doesn't it? It's still, people are listening to it. In 1,000 years, people will be listening to that podcast and saying, "Who is Wilf?"
It's permanent record now, and after everything he's been through, it's so nice to just have a long form conversation with someone and really just without attacking him. I think that's important too.
Yes, because he's had enough. I thought, obviously wasn't. He's had enough aggressive conversations to last him several lifetimes, hasn't he? So I wasn't.
And if we did tease him into saying something salacious, I would hate to be the cause for any more, harm of his reputation or anything like that.
True.
I'm really happy with the outcome, and. Although there are, no matter what happens, you'll always have an inkling of regret or something you should have said or whatever. But I am just glad I kept it in my pants, essentially, metaphorically speaking. You know, I didn't lose my shit, and it was really nice.
Maybe we could. I was thinking. I mean, I didn't ask him, and there was no point in asking him about that. I think he did try and in the early, he did try and both appease the right wing of his party, but also the right wing, his right wing enemies, like the Board of Deputies, or and I always think that was and I'm certain he allowed, on his watch, certain good people like Jackie Walker and Mark Wadsworth were expelled from the party. And I didn't really press him on that. I mean, I also think John McDonnell was tried to appease these. I mean, it's a ridiculous. I mean, these people are bullies, and they're never going to. You appease them, and they just want more and more. But maybe John McDonnell would like to come on, and I'll ask him those hard questions.
I didn't feel like he held his tongue much. We just didn't. Yeah, we didn't push necessarily in those directions either.
Yeah.
But maybe this will be. Now that we've shown him it's a safe space, we might be able to tempt him back into the trap once again, and then really get him.
Yeah, well, we want to toughen him up as well. But we want to make him more. Maybe we want to make him more aggressive. Just because he's too gentle. Maybe we change him into like, kind of like a Rocky kind of figure. Bring out that aggressive side of him.
No, he's got nothing to lose.
So we just want to go and kick Keir Starmer's head in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it really is brought out the kind of riff that you see over and over again in the comments and feedback we've had from the episode. Is like half the people think he should start his own party or a new party should be formed, and all of the Corbynistas should flock to this new wave, and then half people are like, no, keep fighting within the party.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I mean, fine. I mean, do whatever you've got to do, really. I can't see how, even if the Labour Party, because the MPs are always going to be reactionary. The MPs, and they've been given more power. The MPs are never in our lifetime, certainly in my lifetime, going to allow another left-wing leader, as far as I can see. So I can't see, why you would stay in the Labour Party. On the other hand, of course, whatever the left, the entire left in the UK has been spectacularly bad at forming anything that isn't the Labour Party. So I can see there's an argument for staying in it, really. But it seems like a horrible organisation, really.
You mentioned many episodes ago about a new party you wanted to form called the Nice People Party, and I get so many emails just really sincerely wanting you to do it. Or
I went away from that. I got a bit caught up in other things, didn't I? Yeah, well, maybe, I think, one of the things that, because I'm doing a thing with Chris Williams, I think, in a couple of weeks, which he's talking about in Nottingham, which is talking about founding a new party, Festival of Resistance, if I'm sure tickets are available. And, what I think one of the things, and I had an interesting discussion with a guy a while ago about, one of the things that's lacking often from, the kind of left proposition is that and I don't know whether I said this before, but it lacks a kind of spiritual dimension. It can get kind of whiny, I think, the kind of left, and certainly in terms of the Labour Party, you get bogged down in this kind of proceduralism of committees and composite motions and all that bullshit. I think, a kind of a more something that a political philosophy that, while it has a kind of Marxist kind of economic analysis, also has a kind of maybe a spiritual dimension as well, that it's about, healing everybody and healing the planet, really, and just, kind of trying to progress to the next stage of what mankind could be, because this isn't working out, really. I don't.
We're in a rut, aren't we?
We're a bit,
Yeah.
Love Island, Australia. That's not the apotheosis.
It's not. We do need to reach a higher level, but
the real Housewives of Atlanta.
We got to try and avoid that kind of culty. When you said spiritual, I shivered a little bit. We got to try.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean,
and I agree.
It's like AA, isn't it? Your God as you understand them. It's I don't know. It's got to speak to the soul as well as the mind, I think. politics, and it's too often. I think the left proposition is too dry. That's all I'm saying. I haven't really. This is one of those things where I thought something would emerge as I spoke, and it hasn't really. It sounded a lot better in my head. But I'll continue working on it. This is the first. This is the first moment in what the philosophers would later call Saylism, the political, the synthesis of Marxism, Hegelianism, and cognitive behavioral therapy, which and Buddhism and Chinese martial arts. The synthesis which a Sale came up with on Friday, the 8th of October, 2021, and ultimately came to change the world, the destiny of mankind. You were there, people, when it happened.
Yeah, it's, mate, you've just reminded me of so many fucking psychedelic trips I've had. Like, I know it's a cheap pull, but it's like if we could only dump like a large quantity of mushroom tea in the British water system, and get everyone to just have a moment of transcendent realization that really there's. But now we sound like Russell Brand.
That's true, which is, well, he's a popular guy.
This Festival of Resistance, is this the thing on 16th and 17th of October?
I think it is.
Well, this podcast should be out before then. That's in Nottingham. Right. So if you're over in Nottingham and you want to see Alexi in the flesh with Chris Williamson, did you say? What are you doing with him?
MP. It was just, I like, who's over 70, but he's a vegan and he's very stern left winger, but he's an amazing nick, I think, and was expelled from the Labour Party for some made up bullshit.
And what are you going to do with him? A little chat on stage?
Well, I think I'm on a panel, I think, with talking about how to found a new party. That's why I'm sort of. This is the start of me thinking about what I'm going to say, really.
Yeah. Okay. Pitch Saylism to the people of Nottingham at the City Conference and Banqueting Centre.
Marxism, Saylism.
Yes.
Marxism, Saylism, Sun Tzuism. Who else do we admire? Pitch Perfect 2ism. And a Kendrickism.
I love that German guy who's in those films.
In the second one, you mean, in Das Sound Machine?
Yeah.
He's really good, isn't he?
He was in The Suicide Squad with your friend.
Oh, was he? I haven't seen that yet.
He plays Javelin. What the fuck? What the fuck is his name? Doesn't matter. We've had such an outpouring of love and support, like I mentioned, from the Corbyn episode. So thank you to all the new listeners and everyone who's joined our Patreon. And speaking of the Patreon, like, there's really, like, honestly, a couple hundred new members of the Patreon since that episode. So it took getting Jezza on the show to really get our Patreon up there.
We haven't got to a point yet where I can stop moaning about me paying for this shit.
We're almost there.
Getting it.
I think if we double up what we've got now, then I'll never have to ask you for money again for any of the fees or equipment or anything like that. I think we could just run off the Patreon. But like, people are going through quite drastic lengths to support us. Someone has so Carol, thank you for joining the Patreon. She's subscribed, and she when her daughter was a young child, she set up a direct debit to the World Wildlife Fund in her daughter's name, and now her daughter's a 15-year-old goth and not interested in conservation. Probably gone down a nihilistic route. So she's taken the money out of the World Wildlife Fund and directed it our way.
That's brilliant. I think that,
She's also stopped giving money to the Labour Party. And neither group will ever do anything positive for society, but at least the leopards aren't self-serving cunts. And they're gorgeous to look at. And a few others have stopped their Labour Party donations and sent that
or maybe that's the thing we could say. Stop sending money to the Labour Party and send it to us instead. I think that would be an excellent idea.
Paddy asks, who is more likely to use this money to affect meaningful social change? Neither, I realise, but at least the podcast isn't being led by irredeemable bastards. That's very nice. Thank you. Owen, this podcast has got him through lockdown. He's loving the A to Z. We'll get back to the A to Z soon.
Oh yeah, we need to think about that.
Ian says thanks for getting Josie on. Helen donated to us, has signed up to the Patreon as well. She's a big rugby league. She's from a big rugby league socialist family.
All right,
and loved the Tony Collins episode.
Yeah, and we were going to do Victoria, who's done a kind of PhD about rugby league and Marxism, I think, or feminism. So we should do that at some point. Yeah,
we've had a message from Magnus. He's emailed and signed up to the Patreon and messaged on the Patreon, and so he really wants to know, Alexi, something. He loves your podcast, wants you to do more Imaginary Sandwich Shop. Did you know, Alexi, or maybe did your parents know, my grandfather Jeff Mildwater? He ran for election in 1950 for the Communist Party in Bethnal Green. He was a veteran of the Spanish Civil War with the International Brigade. He died in the 80s, but Magnus is fascinated by his history in the Spanish Civil War, so he's very impressed by our interview with Professor Paul Preston.
Yeah.
You know this guy, Jeff Mildwater?
No, I don't. My parents really didn't know that many people outside Liverpool, really, in the CP, but he sounds like a fascinating guy.
Okay. Riley says, signed up to the Patreon. Thank you for the podcast. He loved the Desert Island Discs. And he's come across an interview with you from 1984 for a now defunct publication called 1-2 Testing, where you listed 8 songs you have on your Sony Walkman.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess what those 8 songs were in 1984 that were on your
1984? Yeah. No, but please, I have no idea what they would be. But have you got them there?
I think one of them was on the Desert Island Discs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, can you guess which one was that? 1984?
Pirate Jenny.
No, Shipbuilding by Robert Wyatt.
Oh, Shipbuilding. Did that come out in 84? Jesus.
Well, it's probably out before that.
Yeah. Well, Falklands War. So.
We got Mac the Knife by the Berliner Ensemble.
Yeah, well, same thing, really. Yeah, Brecht, yeah.
Your Love is King by Sade.
Sade. Well, fuck off.
It's great. I love that. That's the great song.
It's a great song.
Fucking great song. That was a great album. Unbelievable album.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking I could have... I love a mad sort of woman singer, really. And I'm a huge fan. I couldn't find a space in the end for it. I would have liked to do Tori Amos, really. I would have liked to, if I had a bit more room on Desert Island Discs, I would have. I love that one that goes, silent all these years, excuse me, but can I be you for a while? A dog won't bite if you sit real still. I got the Antichrist in the kitchen yelling at me again. Yeah, I can hear that. Wow. But I was thinking maybe how would people feel about Alexi Sales sings Tori Amos as an album? Don't you think that would be while cycling possibly?
I guarantee you that would be great. It's been a while since you've released a music record, and what more left field and unexpected thing could it?
Yeah,
Tori
I mean, it's one of the greatest lines.
Be?
Yeah. I mean, that was when she says on the same song, you found a girl who thinks really deep thoughts. What's so amazing about really deep thoughts? You best hope that I bleed real soon. How's that thought for you? Fucking hell.
Wow.
Fucking hell, man. It's a fucking whole story right there, isn't it?
But why is the Antichrist in her kitchen?
Because she's mad.
Okay.
It's this bloke who's going out with a woman who's like completely nuts. It's I think I don't know whether that's a pejorative term now. It's her side of the story, really. That she, and he's found somebody else. He's met this other girl, and he thinks, I love her because she thinks really deep thoughts. And so, this girl, the Tori Amos character, as it were, is really angry with him. But she is also quite disturbed, I think. It's an amazing song.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, and so many Tori Amos, Boys for Palais and Crucify.
6 months in a Leaky Boat by Split Ends.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Song.
This is you. I like this record because it reminds me of Australia, which is a very nice place as long as you're not an Aborigine.
I'm so funny.
Night Nurse, Gregory Isaacs, classic.
Our night nurse, only you alone can quench this here thirst. I was a label mate of Gregory Isaacs. We were both on Island Records. Actually, I was at this festival in Larne last weekend in West Wales, and one of the other guests was Baxter Dury, son of Ian Dury. And we shared a car. It's very typical of this festival. I mean, the car waiting for us to take Carmarthen to take us the 10 miles or whatever to Larne was a Nissan Micra, and not even a new one. I mean, like a 2002 fucking Nissan Micra. And then I like Larne Festival. I've done it many times, and so any other festival, I'd be like, no, Lexi's not leaving the station until you get at least Mercedes E-Class or comparable. But you just say, fuck it, So me and Linda, the driver, and Baxter Dury got in this fucking, and he's not a small boy. Got in this fucking Nissan Micra, but it did make me realize how much of my own hit, because then we were talking about how. His dad, for people who may remember, there was a TV ad called Hello Tosh Got a Toshiba, which was based on my song Hello John Got a New Motor, which I was paid for. So, but his dad sang it. Ian Dury sang it.
Oh, shit.
Both times with the two advertising campaigns. But when it made me realize how much of that song I'd really ripped off from Ian Dury. So it was kind of like, shall we say, was inspired by Ian Dury. And Baxter said that when his dad took part in that, Baxter briefly went to private school until the money ran out from the Toshiba ads. But but I mean, it's not. I just made me realize, how much Ian Dury really had influenced me in my brief musical career, really.
And now Tori Amos,
and she could do me. She could do Hello John Got a New Motor.
You could do a swap. You could do a musical exchange.
She could do some of my other. She could do Dr. Martin's Boots, do my other hits, and Alexi Sale sings Tori Amos. I think that could be
fucking great song, Dr. Martin's Boots. Me and my girlfriend sing that to each other all the time.
Do you? That's nice.
We just break into it. We're having a conversation. I go, creed your ideology, colour, creed or roots, and then we start singing. Relax, Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
All right. Okay. Well,
that's in there too.
Boys.
Yeah. Nearly done. Instinction by Defunct. I've never heard of this.
No, fuck knows. I must have been. Yeah.
And the guy who emailed us this list, he told me that song was banned by the BBC.
Okay.
So you were trying to get cancelled by the BBC back then, even, is the joke he connected there. Right. And finally, Once in a Lifetime by Talking Heads. Great track.
Letting the days go by, and the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground, into the blue again.
Beautiful song.
After the money's gone.
I like Talking Heads a lot. And he used to wear a massive suit, and you used to wear a tiny suit.
Yeah, so everything's connected.
I'm trying to link things together here.
Everything's a giant web of connections.
So thanks, Riley, for that list. That was a fun walk down memory lane there.
Yeah.
Lauren, thank you for signing up to the Patreon. I would shout out everyone, but literally there were hundreds of you. So I'm just reading people who've sent us messages. Lauren said, fuck Starmer. And finally, Bay. Thank you. They loved the episode with Jez. And he said, I need to plead more on each episode. It was my little ad break last episode that made him finally sign up. Him or her, sorry.
That's true. Yeah. I think we could do. You could make it a bit more punchy. I think than you could.
Okay.
Make it a bit more. Patreon.
Do you want me to try one now and you can give me notes?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Hey, folks, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Alex Cell podcast. Oh, man, it's so much fun to do, and we really want to keep it going as long as possible and do as many videos on YouTube and podcasts for you all. So please, if you want to support the show, go ahead and please visit our Patreon. It's the most direct way you can support us, show us your love, and literally keep the wheels turning. Go to patreon.com/AlexiSell podcast. Let me just double check I got that right. Yes, it's I should really check the website address. Yes. Go to patreon.com/Alexisale podcast. That's patreon.com/Alexisale podcast to subscribe for any amount of money that you see fit that we deserve. And we promise to provide you with plenty of great content every other week or so. And thanks. I kind of fizzled out at the end there.
Yeah, we can. Well, now I could channel my years as a voiceover artist, doing. So that was great, Talal. Thank you. We're going to go again.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say podcast, can you get a sense of kind of longing into the word podcast?
Longing, okay.
No, we won't bother. But Wild Bean Cafe at BP Connect. Great food on the go. That was me.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Isn't that is Wild Bean Cafe attached to Marks and Spencer's?
No, BP.
Oh, okay.
I've stopped doing adverts because it got too, it got too wrong, really. So I stopped doing them. I auditioned. The last thing I auditioned for, though, they told me I was was for the Vitality dog. In the Vitality Insurance,
the little dachshund.
But they said, yeah, we want you to do it. But I could hear some other guy in my head on the tape. They were on the record. It wasn't a tape by then, but it was like, I said, you're going to give this to this other guy. And they're like, no. Of course they did. Which is just as well, because I wouldn't, I decided it was, I could no longer ethically do it, really.
Do you want me to try again?
I suppose so. Do can you just do like a 10-second now? See, yeah, there's a test for you. I mean, usually, obviously, you have a script. Do like a 10-second.
Okay. All right. Let me just give me a second to try and think. Hey guys, Talal here from the Alexisale podcast. Look, if you're enjoying the show and you want to support us in the most direct and loving way, that is, I fucked it. Let me take another take.
See, this would be in the control room, which you couldn't be able to hear the agency and the
yeah.
They'd be going, no, we've got to get somebody else.
No, guys, please, I can see you whispering.
Let's get John Thompson.
Just give me one more shot, please. I promise. I got it, guys. I've had a break.
We'll tell him it's great, but we'll get somebody else in.
Don't worry.
That's what would be going on in the. Your plea. Okay, that's great, Talal. Can you do it again?
Yeah. Press record. I'm on it.
All right.
Hey guys, it's me, Talal from the Alexisale podcast. Gosh, we have so much fun doing this show. And you know what? We want to keep doing it for you as much as possible. And the best way for you to show your support and keep the reels turning is by going to...
Yeah, we've really got to get rid of him. He's terrible. He's awful.
Look, third time lucky, folks.
Him
Please, I got this. Here we go.
Tick the box. This is a disaster. It's costing us a fortune.
Hey there, guys. It's me, Talal, from the Alexisale podcast. Look, I just slipping in here. Sorry to interrupt the show, but I just want to let you know of the most efficient way you can support this show and keep the wheels turning. That's by heading to patreon.com/Alexisale podcast. That's patreon.com/Alexisale podcast. Podcast. I said it longingly at the end there.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I think I nailed it with that one.
Yeah.
Do another couple emails?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, actually, before we do more emails, we did get a couple complaints about, as you remember, about you're talking about bullets and guns and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've been dying to show you this ever since you first brought it up, and I keep forgetting. So I'm going to show it to you now. I found a bullet on a bus.
All right.
And I want to know if you can identify it. It's a big one.
Well, blimey, you found that on a bus?
It was on a bus, on the back seat of the 226 bus. I found it when I was a teenager, back when it was the PR1 bus, actually. Found it on my way to school. So I had this in my blazer pocket for a whole day of school once.
Right.
It's been on my shelf like ever since.
Yeah. It's a 50 cal. It's I think, look at or it's either, if it's Soviet, it's 12.7 millimeter. I can't see what that's.
I can read the bottom for you, but it's got a little red outline around the thing at the bottom. It says LHA2, and then it has a number on it, 69. Oh, nice. and then the letter K. So that's,
I don't know what any of that, but that looks like a 50 cal to me, which is a full machine gun round. I mean, a big proper full sized or mid sized machine
the top bit
gun.
spins, like the top bit spins.
That shouldn't do that. It's obviously not live or anything.
Do you think?
I doubt it.
I'm worried one day it's just going to blow up.
I think that's highly unlikely. Yeah, it's a powerful bloody round, and so it's mostly used in. It was still used in machine guns and Browning machine guns, or if it's Soviet in. Well, somebody else can correct me. Oh God, I can't remember what the Soviet kind of medium machine gun's called, but or can be also used in what they call an anti-materiel rifle, which is like the Barrett Light 15 or the Gepard, which is the rifles that fire a very heavy round, so they're used to disable vehicle engines and stuff.
Huh. Are those the guns that have the crank that you turn?
No, that's a fucking Gatling gun. That's from the 19th century.
L11A2, 50 cal British.
Told you it was a 50 cal.
Yes, you're right. I've just Googled the little code that was on the bottom. Yeah. It wasn't LHA2, L11A2. Yeah, someone's put it on a forum and they've got a picture of it and it's the exact same.
Yeah.
It's the exact same bullet as mine. I think it's British made.
Powerful round, usually fired in a machine gun with what they call disintegrating link belt or a metal belt that disintegrates. I mean, fired from a Browning machine gun, which is, the 50 cal's been going, I think, since probably the very early 20th century.
Well, there you go. That was my bullet. I was a teenage schoolboy. I found that on the backseat of a bus. You can imagine how excited I was that day. And also slightly scared. All right. The episode with Josie Long we did. She gave us the idea of what to do with our Lego Alexi figures. Yes?
Yeah.
We need a worthy act to reward with such a limited quantity item. So I thought fan art was a fantastic idea. Thanks, Josie, for that. Now, Helen Hooper sent this email. Dear Alexi and Talal, I really like your podcast. I really like pottery. I really like autumn. I've tried to combine...
I'm liking where this is going. Yeah, go on.
I've tried to combine all three. I hope you're not as what the fuck as my family. Hope the pod keeps on trucking. So do you want to describe what you're looking at there?
I'm looking at a series of ceramic leaves. And they say Pink Hippo Glove Puppet. So titles are various. About ammunition. And my phone keeps...
ABC, ammunition, Bolshevism, and communism.
Yeah. So that's one. Well, they're all leaves, aren't they? And there's some blue leaves, just leaves, I think. And then, there's some multicolored leaves also. Warm gazpacho. Well, that's very nice.
They're beautiful and very random.
Yeah.
But yes, so etched.
Well, that's got to be rewarded.
100%, right?
Yeah. So
etched into the back of these ceramic leaves are titles of various Alexis L podcast episodes.
I mean, I always think the definition of genius, isn't it, is making cognitive leaps. Like Marx was a genius because he had this he was able to synthesize the economics of Ricardo with the humanistic philosophy of Hegel. And so similarly, what she called Helen has synthesized ceramic leaves and the Alexis L podcast. She's made that cognitive leap.
I agree.
Yeah, that's why it's genius.
Fuck yeah. All right, Helen, you're a genius on the levels of Marx, the great Karl Marx. Who loved Ocado, apparently. Is that how he got his deliveries?
Ricardo,
right. Sorry. Yes, so I'm going to message you back, Helen, and get your address and send you a Lego figure. That leaves us with 4 Lego figures left. So let's wait and see the next couple of months what kind of artworks we get sent. I've been sent some very tantalizing emails saying, I'm painting something for you now. Save me one. So let's wait and see.
And I have signed them I've signed the sort of packaging.
Yeah. You've signed them. Each one
is. Did that on the train back from Canvey Island.
Yes, Canvey Island. What do you think?
Canvey Island. Yeah, no, I like it a lot. I mean, it's sort of. I mean, I worry sometimes that the bike rides were like a lockdown thing because they're sort of. They chug along, don't they? But it's. I mean, I like a pointless. Well, I talk about it. I think on the second leg of Canvey Island, I talk about how I was approached by various TV production companies that want to do a kind of to commercialize the bike rides, and I just said two things really. I said I just wanted it to be a bleak kind of locked off journey through stark industrial landscapes, and then also Siobhan McSweeney from Derry Girls also did something riding around Northern Ireland on a electric bike called Thunderclap. So, that went away again. So I don't know. I just asked. I mean, I don't know whether. I mean, it's my inclination. I mean, both with Milton Keynes, we did certainly see a decline in viewers from the first Milton Keynes to the third, which was just, apart from the robots, was just bleak housing estate after bleak housing estate, and sort of rain sodden path and that. I mean, I like as I talk about the interzoning, I like these bleak landscapes. So maybe, I'm interested to know what people think, whether they want to see, more vibrant kind of urban settings, or I'm open to suggestions with that about where I should go. Really,
it is a tough one because we've created something quite niche and very bleak and people keep calling it slow TV, which is a new phrase to me. And the viewers declined through our Milton Keynes saga, but the ones who stuck around are the ones who wanted exactly what we were making.
Yeah,
And I even on the last one. So whenever we release a bike ride, now they're not called lockdown bike rides anymore. They're called Alexi Sales Cyclogeography. So that
might put people off.
We've rebranded it outside of the lockdown context. Yeah. And on the recent, so I normally premiere them on YouTube, and then I watch along and take people's questions and stuff as we watch along. And it's really nice. I get returning people to the premieres month after month, so it's really nice to catch up with them and just see how much. It's reassuring to hear them say, "I love this. Please don't change a thing." Because I did a casual poll on the last premiere and asked people, "What do you think about the idea of me adding some lo-fi music to the background of this?" And I think a lot of people said, "You should try it and see what it's like." But there were a few comments that stuck with me. It's always the minority that stick with you, but like saying, "No, it's perfect as it is. It's simple, it's bleak, it's slow TV. I like to have it on there in the background while I do some, writing or drawing or something." So,
yeah, well, I'm inclined, at least in the short term, to go along with that, I guess. So I'll see what people say if they email in or whatever with their preferences. I mean, I suppose if it drops below like a couple of thousand, it would maybe be time for a change. But I'm happy to. Might do an urban one next anyway. But I'm as I define what it is, I am increasingly drawn to the kind of the bleak landscapes, and less and less happening really. And that's what that Owen Hadley review said. That's what he liked. But obviously, clearly, the viewing figures are descending slightly. So well, I don't know, but fuck it, who cares?
Yeah, when we first met up and started hashing out what we're going to start producing together, simplicity, and we don't want to overproduce. That was kind of the key words that stuck with us from the beginning. But we had a new comment on the very first bike ride that you did to Kingsland Basin along the canal, and you talked about cycling politely when you're going along the canal, and not to go too fast and scare people and stuff. But Sam commented on that video. Just thought I'd add this tale here with regards to Alexi's comments about bicyclists on canals. I was once cycling on that very canal, and I was very slowly approaching a couple to move in front of me, but I waited politely. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, a man on a bike sped up behind me and overtook us without hesitation, cycling like a lunatic. He had his phone in one hand and was texting at the same time. He went under the bridge, around a blind corner in the same fashion. No ringing of bells, nothing. And he caught up with him later and wanted to give him a bollocking, but he got onto the road before he could say anything. But he did catch a glimpse of who it was. And it was Owen fucking Jones.
Really?
The reckless canal cyclist. Watch out for him, he says.
Well, I think that, yeah, okay. All right. Well, all right. Yeah. You see? Yeah. That's what okay. Yeah. Owen Jones, Guardian journalist. Okay.
Yeah. I giggled when I read that.
Yeah. I quite like that.
Amanda sent us an email. She's a nurse, 60-year-old nurse for the NHS mental health nurse, and loves our show. She loves the podcast with Jeremy and Carrie. Gave her hope that the left will rise again like sleeping lions casting off their chains. Very dramatic email.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh yes, good to hear Jeremy's support for refugees. Her father was from Latvia and had to leave when the Russians were coming to shoot her grandfather, who was a Lutheran minister.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought their family to Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't be here, nor her sons, if it weren't for the UK letting her dad's family into the country. I've got one more I definitely want to read to you. This was uncanny. Do you mind one more?
Yeah, go on. We should probably...
Yeah, we'll wrap up in a minute. This is from David Stewart. But not the Dave Stewart, I don't think.
No, well, I knew the Dave Stewart. But yeah, well, as we established early on in this podcast. Yeah, anyway, go on.
Yeah. But okay, David Stewart. Dear Alexi, you are the object of much admiration from a corner of the internet I inhabit. A forum called Cooked and Bombed, which started 20 years ago to talk about Chris Morris and now discusses comedy and everything else. For example, your podcast is raked over in the comedy chat thread here, and he sends me a link, which I will pass on to you, Alexi.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a forum where they dissect our show.
Wow. And well, I like that idea. I like the kind of Talmudic exegesis of anything that people apply to me. I would like more people to do. I don't know if anybody's done their PhD on my philosophy, but on my comedy. But
Saylism.
They really should do. Well, yeah, I'll just on my stand-up. I'll give you a little nugget there. Then I was cycling down Oxford Street not that long ago, I think, and I saw on the corner of, let's say, Wardour Street, Chris Morris, who I've never met as far as I can remember, deep in conversation with Adam Curtis. You know, Adam Curtis.
Yes. The Power of Nightmares.
So how meta is that? Chris Morris chatting, and I know Adam Curtis a bit. And so I thought about stopping, and because I admire Chris Morris, and but I didn't.
Oh.
That's it.
It's a fucking great story, man.
It's a great story. It is a fantastic story.
Ah.
Yeah. Chris Morris chatting to Adam Curtis.
That would have been... And then add you into that equation.
And then put me in the mix as well.
That would have been
like, whoo. But I just kept going, really, I thought, no.
Yeah. They're both legends in their own way, both like very interesting and powerful output.
Yeah.
4 Lines, of course, is
brilliant film, much
film.
underrated.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing film. Yeah. I mean, he's Oxbridge, he's that, he's one of that crowd, isn't he? Armando Iannucci and stuff. But, I think his, that's offset by, the kind of waywardness of the things that he's done. They tried to trick me, though, and actually I hold no grudges. They tried to trick me with on the day-to-day. They had a story about, because I was less so now, but I was quite prominent in animal rights, and they had a story about I think they got on the phone and had the story about an elephant that had got its trunk stuck up its arse or something, and and I was like, fuck off, who is this? You know what I mean? Because they got that, the one, they got all those idiot celebrities about the the drug cake. Do you remember, all kind of fulminating against?
Yeah, the cake episode.
This imaginary, yeah. And so they had a similar one, which I think they did use about inveigling harmless animal rights activists into making fools of themselves with a story about an elephant who got its trunk stuck up his ass. But I just went, oh, fuck you.
Oh, nice. You saw through it.
This is a gag.
Oh, man, he tried to get you. Fuck. Why did he think you would fall for that? And why would he go after comedians?
Well, I'm a bit of a prick, so I mean, it's fair enough. But and I think that's, but animal rights. I mean, animal rights people can. I guess you're vulnerable in a way,
Yeah.
I think I don't think I'm making that up. I think this is all true.
Well, yeah. So I'm thrilled and honored that there's this forum with.
Yeah, I love that.
With a lot of comments.
I will never look at it, but I will. I am thrilled that it's happening.
But that's cookedandbombed.co.uk, and neither the words cooked or bombed have E's in them. They go straight to the D. Cookedandbombed.co.uk, and there's a forum. The topic is the Alexi Cell podcast within the Comedy Chat forum. So, Chris Jury. Does that name ring a bell to you?
Yeah, I think so.
The actor.
Yeah.
Chris Jury. He was on bloody Lovejoy, and he was also in
a sketch of mine,
Holby City, and in a sketch of yours. He emailed in.
Yeah.
He was in. He emailed in, says hello. He listens to the show.
Oh,
he had to fire a handgun in one of the sketches, and he disturbingly really loved it. He says,
"Yeah, that's right. I was looking at that quite recently. That sketch. It's the all new Alexi Cell show. I think we shot it in Hastings, and it's Chris Jury. Yeah, hi Chris. Yeah, we had a right laugh, and it's I can't remember. It's a revolver he's firing, but I can't remember what to make.
Ooh, I might look up for that sketch, and if it's pod worthy, I'll slip in a clip of it.
Yeah, I wrote it as well.
Oh, wonderful! Well, he saw you a few years ago at the Chelsea Arts Club. He was with Dudley Sutton.
Oh, Dudley,
with Peter.
Dear Dudley.
He loves the podcast, loves the bike rides, loves the sandwich bar.
Pity Dudley Sutton's dead. I've got a few stories about Dudley Sutton.
Who's Dudley Sutton? Excuse my ignorance.
Well, we'll talk about Dudley Sutton next time. Ask me about Dudley Sutton next time.
Okay. Okay. Well, he says there's love, and he's been involved with trade unions and left-wing politics all his life. He still runs the Tolpuddle Radical Film Festival.
Oh, all right.
He does more writing and directing now.
How'd you say that? This in like The Wire and stuff. They say all right. They say all right, but they say in a particular kind of way. Oh, that's better. How'd you do it again?
Like Ali G used to do.
Yeah.
I
don't know. No, that doesn't sound quite right.
It's all vowels. Just get rid of all the consonants. There you go.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right to me. Forget it. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, Chris Jury. Yeah. Many. Yeah. I could talk. We talked about my Lovejoy that we did together. As well, haven't we? With 20 grand for a Kazi Lovejoy.
Yeah.
She played a crip of it. It is as bad. Like sometimes I am self-deprecating where I say something's bad and it's not. It's really good. But that Lovejoy is really bad. I mean, it's genuinely bad. My performance is terrible. I'm not being self-deprecating at all. It's just...
Well, I had to watch the whole episode when I was clipping it up for the podcast. And I was entertained. After hearing you say how bad it was and why it was bad, because you thought you were a big Hollywood hotshot now.
Yeah, I thought I was going to Hollywood, yeah.
And you were almost doing it out of charity. I'll do Lovejoy. They'll kill to have me, this Hollywood hotshot on their show. So but I don't want to speak badly of you, Alexi. You're my friend and my boss, more importantly.
Yeah, but that is just
it was like you were doing a sketch, but
yeah.
And also the concept of the episode, it was about a fucking antique toilet.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
I don't know. I can't remember.
But I think the ending, the conclusion of your character's arc was actually executed quite nicely.
Was it? I can't remember.
The money you dropped off the money. He kind of got you got your comeuppance at the end.
It wasn't helped by the fact that I was supposed to be in Spain, wasn't I? By a swimming pool, and it was clearly a freezing cold swimming pool somewhere near Essex or in Essex.
Yeah, that was odd.
Didn't help with the believability. Anyway, yeah, great to speak to you. That was a great sketch, and I remember we had a right backing laugh, and in the hotel bar afterwards. And yes, I remember you very fondly.
Well, that's been fun. In conclusion,
yeah, this is it's a more laid back. We can shed all those listeners we got with Jeremy.
Yep.
And go back to being, happy.
We don't like staying too popular for too long.
Oh, I think it's good. Oh, at this point, I think it's really good. This episode,
I've enjoyed it. I think this is the nuts and bolts of our show. Like when we get guests on, that's the dressing.
It's a different thing. Yeah,
that's the garnish, and it's great and it's wonderful. But it's Alexi's show, and here he is. God damn it, listening to your emails and fucking responding to him.
Exactly.
Any parting words?
No, just no.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Say bye, Sooty. Can you say Sooty anymore? Bye, Sooty. Bye, Sweep. Me.
Thanks, guys.
You've been listening to the Alexi Cell podcast. This show is produced and edited by Talal Karkuti. Music by Tarbush Records. Thanks to Anthony Overton for the sound mixing. And to Audio Boom for hosting us. Please keep your emails coming in at alexicellpodcast@gmail.com. Goodbye.
What seems to be the trouble, officer?
Could I see your licence, sir? And the name is?
Goddo.
Mr. Goddo?
No, just Goddo. One word, like Maradona.
And why were you speeding, sir?
Well, there's some people waiting for me. They've been waiting rather a long time. I said I'd meet them yesterday.
Where are these people, sir?
They're on a road that leads to nowhere, but which crosses a blasted barren landscape.
Like the M25?
Yeah, sort of, yeah. I'm just a bit worried, though, because if I don't get to see them soon, I think they'll probably ricochet between elation and despair and cause the barriers of drama to be redefined.
Well, I can't. Excuse me a moment, sir. Go on, get on the radio.
Okay. Hi, we're back. And this next one's for the Croydon posse at Avon Plastics.
I'm afraid we can't let you continue in this car. You've no brake lights. And your tide tread depths do not conform to EC safety standards, I'm afraid.
Well, what am I to do?
You have to leave the car here, sir. Now, I'm going to give you a ticket. I'm going to give you a ticket for an Inspector Calls at the Library Theatre staff. Now be off with you.
You a student then?
Well, I'm an elusive figure. I travel, but I don't necessarily arrive. I may not exist. My friends, who may not be my friends, they constantly bicker, always intending to move, but never moving, putting everything off until tomorrow.
Sounds like a student to me. Where are you meeting these mates of yours?
Well, I'm meeting Vladimir and Estragon on a road to nowhere, underneath an oak tree. I'm terribly late, awfully late, and I'm worried that if I don't get there soon, they may lapse into nihilistic despair.
I'm going to give them a bell on the mobile.
I don't think they've got a mobile.
Everybody's got a mobile, mate. Oh, car behind. Cavalier. Headlamp washers. Colour coded bumpers. Christ, it's a 2.5 V6 Diplomat Special Edition. A leather seat facings and an optional passenger airbag. Senior regional managers and above. Damn. Well, I'm only a 2-litre SRI. Senior reps, planning managers, heads of personnel. Electric front windows, but no bloody CD. Damn. Come on. Go on. Yeah, you want to give him a bell on the old Mobilo? Oh, another Cavalier. black bumpers, no rear wash wipe. Black exhaust smoke. It's a 1.7D Envoy. Wind-up windows and no ABS. Junior reps, assistant computer programmers and below. There's no way you're passing me, mate. You can forget it. Oh, he's flashing his lights. Piss off! Bastard! Take that! Your 1.7 litre diesel, no fuel injection. No, police car. Vauxhall carton. 2 litre L. I'm not moving over for that.
We have to come back tomorrow. What for? To wait for Godot.
He didn't come.
No.
And now it's too late.
Lads, I'm here. I'm here. Sorry to keep you waiting. Sorry to keep you waiting, lads. Anyway, I'm here, so... Shall we push off?
Hey?
Oh, sorry to keep you waiting, lads. Terrible time getting here. Anyway, I'm here now and I've got some tickets for the wrestling, so shall we go?
What?
Hi, lads. Oh, you'll never believe the time I had getting here. Oh, sorry to keep you waiting. Anyway, fancy a drink?
Typical. You wait ages for one to come along and suddenly 3 come at once.